symptoms can be different and the cause can be different. It happens with the medical science also. People can come up and say, oh, we have a very bad career. And it is a high possibility that the guy is lazy.
With the 12th house, there will be a temptation to put money in the stock market because 12th house means, you want quick things.
So these are artificial energies. They don't know whether you are Alokji or Bhabajeet. It's like a bullet.
Most important remedy that we can do for any planet is to read the Srimad Bhagavatam every day.
So the remedy has to be a part of the life. Then only it is sustainable. आप महीने में 2 बार भगवान के दर्शन रैंडम करने चले जाओ, कुछ नहीं होता.
Namaskar. Welcome to the Asttrolok podcast. Here we discuss concepts of astrology and allied sciences with some of the world's most accomplished and knowledgeable astrologers, astrological teachers, and scholars. I am Anjita, an astrology enthusiast, an astrology student, and your host. Today's podcast is very special. We shall be discussing a topic which is very relevant and a very sought after topic. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking about astrological remedies or Jyotishya Upay, as we call them. Do remedies actually work? Do they have the power to change your destiny or prarabdha? What are the various kinds of remedies and what should we do to maximize the results? These questions and many more shall be discussed today by our two guest astrologers who are very knowledgeable and reputed. Bhabajeet from Exotic Astrology and Sri Alok Khandelwal from Asttrolok. Just a brief introduction for our guests. Bhabajeet, an engineer by profession, works as a Google Cloud Platform engineer in Germany. He has over 20 years of experience in practical modern age astrology and runs a channel called Exotic Astrology. His vision is to rekindle the lost glory of our ancient scriptures and disseminate the timeless knowledge and wisdom amongst people. Sri Alok Khandelwal is a renowned astrologer, an astro coach, an entrepreneur with experience of over 2 decades. He holds he holds esteemed qualifications such as Jyotish Bhushan, Jyotish Ratna, and Jyotish Rishi. He is also the founder and managing director of Asttrolok, which is a leading institute worldwide in astrology education and consulting. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Bhabaji.
Thank you very much.
So, Bhabajeet and sir, as we know today, our topic of discussion is remedies, and people have a lot of questions for which they want answers. So, I will start today with the most quintessential question to you, Bhabajeet. What are remedies in astrology? And when we give a remedy to a native, does it have the power to change the sequence of events or to change his destiny, if we put it very broadly?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for extending me the invitation for this podcast. It's great to meet Alokji and you also. Thank you so much once again. So, the topic today is very interesting. It's maybe it is more interesting in India than in the West. This is a topic called remedies, which in India we generally, in loose terms, we say, as buy, okay, or in the West you could say it's like a quick fix. In India, they also know this as totkas, or yeah, there are different names in different states. There are parihara, or North India, South India, East or West. So these remedies, in short, the word remedy means a solution to a problem. Now, that is like literally the English translation. So, in general, when you say, okay, there's a problem in your life, what's the remedy? So, people think, oh, we will do something which will completely nullify the problem, right? But in terms of, in the context of Vedic astrology, that is not exactly how remedies work. So, it means Suppose you have a problem. Let's take an example. If you have a problem in a particular planet. Now, when I say problem in a planet, it means maybe the planet is not very well placed in your chart, and you wish to get better results from that planet during its Mahadasha or Antardasha. So then we think, okay, maybe my planet is afflicted, or it's in debility, or it is combust, or whatever, and maybe I will suffer during the Antardasha of this planet, or maybe if a long Mahadasha is coming. So then I don't want to suffer. So can I do something which can nullify the suffering? Well, actually, remedies in astrology, they do not nullify our suffering. What they do is, this is my opinion, this is my perspective. Other astrologers have sometimes different opinions, but what I have seen in my practical experience also is that whenever I have seen somebody doing remedy, number one, it does not stop your existing karma that is destined to come, because our Vedic scriptures explain that the, the karma that we face in this life, the results of our karma, it is a part of our prarabdha karma. So the prarabdha karma, the scriptures explain, is connected to this physical body that we have in this life. So when somebody is saying that the karma has changed, it essentially means the body has changed. But the body is not has not changed. Of course, somebody can become slim, or can become fat. That or somebody can do plastic surgery, but the body is still the same, right? So essentially, karma remedies will not stop your existing karma. So this means, suppose, let's take a very simple example. Somebody's seventh house, seventh lord, or Venus, or for a female, maybe Jupiter is afflicted or badly placed. So then, in in simplistic terms, there is a there is an expectation that my married life will not be good, right? So now, if you do remedies for, like, for a man, if he does remedies for Venus, and for a woman, if she does remedies for Jupiter, then what will happen is, the marriage problems will be there, but the person will be able to rise above these problems and somehow continue with the marriage. So it is like, when you have a chronic disease, there is no medicine that you can take and get rid of the disease, but you can still continue your life and do the other activities which make you fulfilled as a human being. So that is my understanding of remedies.
Okay. So, Alok, sir, what is your take on astrological remedies? Do they
So I would,
actually change events?
so basically I mostly agree with what he's saying, what Bhabajeet is saying. I have slightly different view on that. Obviously, we have our prarabdha, sanchit, and agami also, right? So we are made up of three kind of karma, right? Prarabdha, agami, sanchit. And in life, in one day, I experience some portion of the prarabdha, some from agami, and some from sanchit also. Obviously, the chart which we see is a chart of combination of prarabdha and sanchit, because at that time it is our landing time. We have not even taken a single breath. I mean, the first breath. So we cannot. So and if we are able to predict the entire life on the birth chart basis, that means there has to be something which is coming from the past birth. That is perfectly correct. Second is, if you can change the course of action because of remedy, course of events because of remedy, then Jyotish has no meaning, because the Jyotishi cannot predict then, because we are predicting on the basis of a calculation. Okay, you are running into 8th lord dasha, it is sitting in the 10th house, you can have problem in your career. So that is something which is like, which has to happen during that dasha. What can be changed? So why it is so important in Jyotish, and why it is so important in the life? Like, you go to a doctor, right? Doctor will diagnose, he will write some test. In India specifically, he will write some test, and then he will say, okay, you have this disease, and these are the medicine which you have to take. Same way, we diagnose the chart, and then we come to a conclusion that, okay, these houses, or maybe these planets are into problem and they have to be repaired. In Jyotish, there are three terms: ganit, falit, parihar. So ganit is calculation, falit is when you are predicting, and parihar is very important because that is the basic reason you are going to a doctor. So if you have got say diabetes, you know that you have a diabetes. You are going to a doctor to basically getting rid of that diabetes or maybe getting a cure from that doctor. Same way, people visit us because they want to have a solution for their problem. Most of the people, they know about their problem. We can just read it and tell them, okay, we also know as a Jyotish. So if I have a problem in career, I know that there is a problem in my career, right? And if I visit to a Jyotishi, he will tell, okay, you have a problem with your career. I said, yes, now what can I do? This is the normal question everybody asks. So what parihar or what remedy does is it reduces the pain and it makes your travel easy. As Bhabajeet is saying, somebody is having a problem in the seventh house, and if he's doing remedy for that house, he would be able to cope up with that particular marriage situation. And it happens because of two things. Number one, the awareness. That is the most important aspect of any remedial measure. That if I am aware that okay, there is a problem in my chart related to seventh house, I will stop blaming the partner. You see that in any relationship, the major problem happens when I'm saying I am right, you are not right. I am okay, you are not okay. But once I am aware about this thing, that okay, there is some problem in my career, then I would not be blaming my superiors or my bosses for that. The first thing is awareness, which makes you prepare for the outcome of that events. Second is any mantra, any dhyan, any remedy which you do reduces the pain and make your travel easy. We are living in time and space. Every time has to go, right? Obviously, there are some curses in the chart which is like lifelong. But mostly we experience events which are time bound. 10 years your career is great, 5 years your career is not great, right? So remedial measure can help us to reduce the pain, or maybe in a better time it can help us to increase the efficacy. This is how I look at this point.
Okay, so basically you are saying कि remedies can make us, like we say in Hindi, जोर का झटका धीरे से लगे, but लगेगा जरूर.
हाँ, अगर लगेगा नहीं तो फिर ज्योतिष का महत्व ही नहीं रहेगा. There is no point of.
So, Babaji, as an astrologer, when a native comes to you for consultation, what are the kind of remedies that you believe in and you subscribe?
Yes, it's a fantastic question you have asked, and I would like to credit you for this. I think this is the most important thing which I want to speak in today's session is most of the times I see people ask me questions like in my Instagram, people will DM me all the time. Every day I will receive not thousands, but at least 5 DMs where people ask me, oh, I have Saturn here, what remedy should I do? I have Mars here, what should be my remedy? I have Venus here, what should be my remedy? So they forget that there are other planets. So what I want to tell here is we have 9 planets in astrology. We have 10 nakshatras because we have an ascendant nakshatra also. Then we have divisional charts. Then, most importantly, we have dashas, and the cherry on the top, we have transits. So, whenever we are giving a remedy, it is because see, you cannot give a remedy for every planet. You cannot tell a person, okay, do 9 remedies every day. Nobody's gonna do it in 2025. People are very busy. You cannot tell, oh, you have problems in 6 planets, do 6 remedies. Nobody does it. So what I do on in my during my consultations is I do not see the problems of the planets individually. I see where is the holistic problem. For example, let me give you an example. Rather than seeing, oh, there is problem in Mars, there is problem in eighth house, what I see in the chart is there a generic problem related to anxiety which is indicated by many planets, like maybe 3 or 4 planets. So they are indicating that the person has anxiety, the person is not able to sleep. So then I might suggest a mantra like Om Namo Narayana. So it is like shooting a bird with 2 stones, or maybe 2 birds on 1 stone, or maybe 3 birds with a stone, right? So, or I see the person has lack of motivation in 3 or 4 planets, like Jupiter, Mars, Sun, for example. They are not very well placed. So then the person will feel that there is not much drive in the person naturally if Sun, Mars, Jupiter is not well placed. So then I suggest a mantra like Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya, this mantra specifically, which will give power and motivation to the person. Now, with this one mantra, the person can elevate the energy of the chart. So by doing that, all the three planets will be covered. And in general, you will see most of the people. Um, I mean, out of 100, you will feel 95% of the people will tell you, "Oh, I don't have motivation. I feel lazy. I feel lethargic, or I feel depressed. Depression is another major concern." Or I have too much anxiety in life. I'm not able to sleep in the night. So so my approach to remedies is a bit holistic and not like okay, individual planetary problems. Now this is in general, but sometimes there are very specific problems in planets which are indicated by one specific planet and no other planet. For example, if there are in the horoscope there are like 6 to 7 planets which are indicating that the person has a good marriage, and the remaining two planets are neutral, but there is one planet. Let's take example, maybe there is Rahu, and Rahu Mahadasha will come in 35 or 40 45 age, and Rahu Mahadasha is 18 years. And let's assume Rahu is very badly placed for marriage. So then this means inherently, because the overall chart is telling me that the person is wanting to maintain his or her marriage. So that means the person may not get divorced or may not have problems in Rahu Dasha, but will feel a bit unhappy. Or maybe the person may feel, oh, look at this person's marriage, he or she is more happier than me. So then that planet's energy has to be dealt specifically, and then I might suggest something specific towards Rahu alone. But this is in general a very rare situation. But in general, for most of the people, my approach to remedies is to see what problem are you facing at the end of the day, which is a result of many planets, at least 2 or 3 planets combined, or maybe even more, like 6 to 7 planets are indicating anxiety. So then anxiety is very serious. So then we try to give some remedies which reduces anxiety, rather than saying, oh, you have 5 planets which are badly placed, so you do 5 mantras every day, or you visit 5 temples every week. So that's a bit difficult. So while giving the remedies, from last 10 years when I'm doing consultations, I've seen like many people, they reply back to me after 1 year or 2 years by saying, oh, I am unable to do all the remedies that you have given. So nowadays, before I used to give a lot of remedies, but nowadays I give maybe 2 or maybe maximum 3 remedies which a person can do, like 1 or 2 mantras every day, so that the person is doing less but is doing consistently, and there is improvement in some area of life at the least.
Okay. So, Babaji, what you're saying is that your approach to remedies is a holistic rather than a very focused approach, primarily.
Primarily, and if required, to be very focused, like as I said, for Rahu, if it is like very bad and if it is totally opposite, the energy is totally opposite of the overall chart, then the remedy is very specific only for Rahu.
Okay. सर आपकी क्या टेक है काइंड ऑफ रेमेडीज आप अपने जातकों को किस तरह की रेमेडीज देते हैं
So yeah, I mean, I am also on the same line. So there are two things. Number one is the symptoms can be different and the cause can be different. It happens with the medical science also. People can come up and say, "Oh, we have a very bad career," and it is a high possibility that the guy is lazy, right? Because the symptom is bad career, but the cause can be the laziness. So as a Jyotishi, I have to see what is the cause, because it is more like a Ayurveda treatment rather than an allopathy treatment. We should not treat the symptom; we should treat the cause. This is number one. Second is, as he said, there can be issues in the birth chart, and then there can be dasha specific issues. So we have to see the three things. Number one, the cause, the basic problems in the chart, and then the dasha specific remedies. Now, as he said, and I also believe this, specifically with the younger generation, you ask them to do 2 3 mantras, they will not be able to do. Even the younger and the older both. Only generation of me and you can do, because we are like very aspirational and we want to do something in our life. The younger 18 20, they don't want to do it, and the older also don't want to do so many things. So then we have to approach the remedies into a manner where the person can do it. For example, I generally don't ask to do so many mantras to youth. Rather, I will ask them to do something on their body. Body is the experiencing tool. And as we say that yat pinde tat brahmande. So if the body is like, if we can incorporate some remedies on the body level, it can be easy for the youth. So maybe I can ask them to go for swimming. Maybe I can ask them to do some specific yogasana. But I will not say, okay, don't, I will not stop them to going to the gym. I will say, okay, after gym, you can do these 2 pranayams. Because the pranayam can also directly related with the planets. Same way, in suppose there is a small child who needs some remedies. Now you cannot ask him to go to temple, maybe chant some mantras, or maybe he cannot work on the body as well. Then some remedies related with the food, which the mother can feed. So we know that all the planets are related with food also. So if I want to improve the Guru Tattva in the child, I can suggest some food related with Brahaspati. Or maybe if I can avoid, so I can ask them, okay, stop non-veg completely for this boy, because the stomach is already in a bad shape. There's, for example, Mars is sitting, because the symptom will come. This boy is very, I mean, the anger is very high. This is the symptom. But the cause is Mangal sitting in the fifth house, creating a lot of fire in the chitta. So what we need to do, a boy of say 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, you cannot ask them, especially if he is not Indian, then you cannot ask them to go for to recite Hanuman Chalisa. So then I have to ask, okay, if Mars is creating a lot of fire, I'll say, okay, can you increase the water intake by 2 liters so that the fire can be pacified? Or maybe you can avoid eating very fiery food, non-vegetarian food, junk food, so that the stomach, the Mars can be pacified. So I normally in my practice, I will not give only one kind of remedy. I will give some mantra. I will give little bit of donation, something on the body, very important. Either any exercise, any pranayam, any maybe a color remedy, and something on the behavioral level. Because the first and the most important thing which I consider is the person has to accept that there is a problem. Because remedy will not work. Any remedy, the most biggest remedy also given by even the Lord himself, will not work if there is no shraddha. If he doesn't believe in that, it's like a placebo impact. You know this, that if I believe, okay, this stone can be a shiva linga for me, it can do wonders for me, otherwise it is a stone. So then we have to, as a Jyotishi, I make them realize that you need this thing. For that, you have to predict first and then ask, okay, this is the problem. And then they have to acknowledge, yes, there is a problem. And then, according to their age, their sthan, place where they live, their religion, because you cannot ask a Muslim to do Om Namah Shivaya chanting. Even a Jain also, sometimes you cannot ask them to do Vedic mantras. You have to give them Jain mantras. And then, according to their religion, then I will give them remedies. Not more than 3 4 ultimately. But 4 types, not only one type. So that if he's not doing a mantra, at least if he's consuming juices, I know Jupiter is improving. Because that is something which he can do daily. So the remedy has to be a part of the life. Then only it is sustainable. आप महीने में 2 बार भगवान के दर्शन रैंडम करने चले जाओ, कुछ नहीं होगा. Because the God will also know that, God is also knowing this, that you are not sincere about your own life. You are, so the kind of time which you are giving to divine will give you the same kind of time. And he is much busier than us. So this is how I see it basically.
तो सर जैसे रेमेडीज में हमने मंत्र की बात की, उसमें डोनेशंस भी आते हैं, फास्टिंग भी है और जेमस्टोन्स भी हैं। तो आपका फास्टिंग पे, डोनेशन पे या जेमस्टोन्स पे क्या टेक है? मतलब किस सिचुएशन में आप क्या प्रेफर करते हैं रेमेडी देना?
So if you read Parashara has always said two things. One is mantras or yagnas, and then the other is donation of goat, donation of cows, everything. So donation obviously is one of the biggest thing which you can do to get rid of negative karma, right? Because you are basically relieving something from yourself. This is one. So I always recommend donations. Now, nowadays, since a lot of people are becoming aware, they feel good also while donating something, especially to the poor people, especially to the needy people, or maybe andashram, ashram. They do some remedies, they feel good about it. So I I normally prefer it. Regarding the stones, so I was saying in the last 22 years मैंने करीब 20-25 हजार लोगों के स्टोन उतरवाए हैं, right? पहनवाने की जगह. Because most of the people what happens is वो they are wearing wrong stones, और पत्थर है वो, उसको नहीं पता कि आप आपको क्या चाहिए. So I will never recommend a planet stone which has a negative lordship in your chart or negative placement. So normally if I'll recommend a stone, that is for the betterment. Stones are not for the cure. If you want to improve the quality of a planet, you have to do either mantras, donation, yagnas, or dhyan. Stone is a artificial energy, right, which you wear on your body. So he doesn't know that if you are wearing Mercury and Mercury is your 8th lord, he doesn't know that you need only 5th lord result. He will give you the 8th lord result also. So most of the people, they are wearing wrong stones because of greed of astrologers, because astrologers make a lot of money in stones. So normally I am against stones, but no, but what happens, people will come and say, sir, इसको गुस्सा बहुत आता है, मोती पहना दूं. Say, yeah, people will come and ask. I think Bhabajeet will also relate with this, that I want to wear a stone. I want to wear a stone. So then I tell them, this is not something which you like, or I mean, this is not a matter of your liking. If we think that you need a stone, then only I will ask you. So I will recommend a 5th lord stone, 9th lord stone, lagna lord, 10th lord. That's it. And in that case, only when they are well placed in Janma Lagna, Navansha, and if he is a working professional, detail. Otherwise, I will say you don't need a stone. हर दूसरे आदमी का stone उतरवाना होता है. Because they are wearing so many stones, and then stones are creating a lot of energy in your body and mind, and then they don't know what is happening with their life. And they are thinking that the Jyotish is not working. So they are going to different astrologers every week. And the problem is in their hand only, basically.
So, Babajit, what is your take on donations and gemstones? Primarily gemstones as a remedy.
With gemstone, as Alokji perfectly put it out, it increases the. So when somebody is wearing a gemstone in their hand, what is happening? Suppose you are wearing this green emerald panna, so it is pulling the energy of Mercury to your body. So now the problem is whatever Mercury is doing in your chart, that is getting amplified.
Correct.
Suppose Mercury is making you very business minded, then it will make you more business minded. But the problem is, suppose Mercury has, as you rightly said, associations with Dustana houses, the 6th house, 8th house, or the 12th house. Then what will happen is anxiety will. So if it is with the 8th house, then fear will come. I will lose my money. Kya hoga? Kya hoga? That fear will come. With the 12th house, there will be a temptation to put money in the stock market, because 12th house means you want quick things, right? And with the 6th house, the problem is you will develop a lot of jealousy. So if I'm making money, that's fine, but along with me making money, others should not make money. So that is that's the thing which 6th house does. So now, when I'm suggesting gemstones, first of all, I maybe once, like more than 5 times in a year, I will suggest, because I see the problem with gemstones is most of the times they will increase one area of your life, but they will put you down in another area. Let's take an example, like Suppose you give a gemstone for a person who has sun in the 10th house, for example, and you say, okay, you should go and take ruby. Now, if you are suggesting this to a person who is 21 years old and is asking, I want to become an IS officer, and then the horoscope is very good and sun dasha or moon dasha is coming, then it could be a good thing. But suppose this same person is 35 years old and has a wife and two kids and has sun in the 10th house, and you are suggesting, oh yes, great sir, go and take a ruby, it will end up in a disaster because the 10th house is 12th from the 11th house, which is the house of marriage and long term gains. So then what will happen, this person will behave like a king everywhere. In the office maybe it's fine, but when you come to the home you cannot behave like that with your wife or with your husband or your kids or your parents. Then nobody will like you. So then what will happen, this same ruby can encourage the person to break off from the marriage, or in worst case get a divorce, because the person thinks nobody listens to me, koi meri baat nahi sunta hai. Why? Because this person is now feeling that everybody should listen to him because the the sun's energy is magnified. So therefore, yes, if a planet is in the trines, or maybe in the 11th house, or maybe in the ascendant in general, or if it is anywhere, second, third, fourth, fifth, anywhere, but it is not dragging you down in some other important area of life, then I can suggest a gemstone in extreme cases. But in most of the cases in astrology, this is the thing you will see. If a planet is well placed in D1, it will not be well placed in the D9, or it will have some problem in the D10. So 99% cases, you will very, very, very rarely, this is under exceptional circumstances, you will find that a planet is very well placed in the D1 and D9, D10, and maybe in the D60 also. And if the person is fortunate to have such a planet, it is even more rare that that Mahadasha will come in their life. So yes, if the person needs, like, sometimes people who are in, like, 27 years old, a man especially, they are asking me, I'm staying at my home, I am a man, I have to get married, and nobody will marry me if I don't have a job. So then under exceptional circumstances, till the person does not have a job, I might recommend a gemstone of the 6th house or the 10th house. But I will give with this warning: the moment you get the job and you are looking for a match, please put it out. Otherwise, you may face difficulty in getting married. Or it could be the other way around, for second house, 7th house, or 11th house. If somebody wants to get married, then the person might see for a gemstone. But the most important thing when giving gemstones is, I see, is the upcoming dasha supportive or not? Does it even make sense, right? For example, if a person is asking, oh, I have, Venus in the 7th, can I wear a diamond and I will find somebody to get married? Maybe you will find, but suppose your Mars Mahadasha is coming next 7 years, you are 25 years old, and your Mars is in the 6th house. So that means maybe in most circumstances, next 7 years, no matter what gemstone you wear, you will not get married because the Mahadasha is denying marriage. So then I tell them that yes, if you want, you can wear, but the results will be seen after the age of 32, because 25 plus 7 after 32, you might get better chances, provided Rahu is also not badly placed, because Rahu Mahadasha is the next. So if the Mahadasha is not supporting, then I directly say maybe even if you wear, it will be difficult. So be prepared that you may not still get married, even if you wear a diamond with Venus in the 7th. But yeah, after 32, maybe luck is on your side. So I give this, and if the dasha is neutral, like for example, a planet is in the 3rd house. A planet in the 3rd house will not say yes to marriage, neither will it say no. So then I may say, okay, but the next Antardasha, 1 or 2 years, is not supportive. After 2.5 years, or after 3 years, when Jupiter Dasha comes and Jupiter is in your 7th, then you are wearing pokras. Then after 3 years, you will see the result. So I always keep the Dasha into consideration when I'm giving gems.
I have a story on this, Anjita ji. Around 15 years back, uh, my friend's son, very small boy, around 5 years. So every 15-20 days, he used to go to, I mean, admit in the hospital. Normally, we don't see a chart of an infant or maybe a very little boy. But since he was like every time, maybe next every 15 days, he needs to be admitted in hospital. I saw the chart, I didn't find anything wrong. So we were into a fix. What is happening with this boy? What is happening with this child? 4 times it happens. I could not see any major indication of hospitalization in the chart. Somehow it clicked. The mother came to me. I was sitting at their home. Mother came to me. She was wearing a pukhraj. And since I know them, they were my friends. I was knowing that Jupiter was in the sixth house of that female. It is marka for the child. And you wouldn't believe. I asked them, ask her immediately remove this stone. The boy is now 15 years old. 15. I think he must be 18 or 20. Never went to hospital. So these are artificial energies. They don't know whether you are Alokji or Bhabajeet. It's like a bullet. So you have to be very careful. Even if you are a mother of a small child, then you, like when you breastfeed the child, your health transfer to the child also. Same way, if you are a mother specifically or a father of a child less than 8 years, you have to be very careful that your planets are making an impact on them also, because till the 8 years the child has to suffer or maybe enjoy the karma of parents. So that's how, since we are connected with each other, that on the DNA level, we have to see that if I'm wearing a stone eh, of Jupiter, if Jupiter is in the sixth house of my wife chart or the sixth lord, then it can impact our marriage also. This is how, I mean, that's why you have to see the entire family chart ideally, especially the couple, to see if I am wearing a stone, what impact it is creating on the wife's chart. That's why it is very tricky. You have to be, as an astrologer, you have to be very careful while suggesting a stone.
So thank you
One,
so much for sharing the story, sir. Ah,
I
yes,
would
Bhabaji, you were saying. Yes,
add
yes,
one.
absolutely.
Yeah, but this is also very important. I've seen the Deshkal Patra is also very important. Like, for example, 2 years back, I was in India. Then I looked at the chart of a person, and he showed me the chart of his child. And he did not say anything about how the child is or what the child is doing. I saw the chart, and I saw that the chart is not having like some extraordinary credentials. I mean, it was a good chart, but it looked like the person will barely make their ends meet. Okay. So then I said, well, yes, then he said, my son also wants to meet you. And then his son came out, and his son, when he came out, he looked like a cinema star, and he was like, very smart, very handsome, very intelligent, and very commanding personality. And I was like, maybe the birth time is not correct. Then I told his father that, are you sure this is the birth time? So then he said, yes, I was personally there when the delivery was happening, and I was noting this is the birth time. So then I inquired a bit about his lineage. So then I came to know they are from some, their background is their ancestors were kings, and like the samant, we used to say, the associates of the kings. So then I realized that maybe because the DNA is so powerful, even a seemingly normal chart which does not have any extraordinary combination for success is a very powerful chart. And then I was even more surprised when I saw, then this person, he showed me his chart, and his chart was also looking to be like a very normal chart without any like special yoga, raj yoga, whatever. So then I understood that the, the DNA is very important. I mean, DNA in the sense, the family background, lineage, all this has also to be taken into consideration. Now, I was imagining if this person would have come to me for an online consultation and I would have not known all of this, my predictions would have come for us as a surprise, because then I would have said, okay, maybe you should plan for your child's future. He will barely able to make his ends meet and all. I would have maybe suggested tons of remedies. But because the family lineage and the tradition is so strong, so inherently the planets, the energy of the planets, they are very powerful. So imagine what would be the level if the horoscope was also very powerful. It would be like, magnitude of energies. But this is also something which I have observed. Time, place, circumstances are also very important.
Rishi
Yes, sir.
Parashara and other rishis has also mentioned that if this is a combination in the chart and the person is born in a royal family, he will definitely become a king. Or if this is a combination in the chart, even if he is not born in a royal family, he will become a king. These kind of shlokas are there. That means they are also indicating that your lineage, your family. So a small yoga in a royal family chart can become very big, and a big yoga in a very I mean in a small family, or maybe a person who is coming from a very humble background, he has to work very hard to activate that yoga. This is very true. I agree on what Bhavya is saying.
So, I would like to say something about the gemstones that you were talking. First of all, thank you for sharing that story. So, because I have seen people जो कि पांचों उंगलियों में जेमस्टोन्स पहनते हैं, और एक व्यक्ति को तो मैंने देखा था, वो उन्होंने दोनों मोती और पन्ना दोनों को एक रिंग में बना के अपनी छोटी वाली उंगली में पहन रखा था. एंड आई वाज वंडरिंग व्हाट इज दिस रिंग डूइंग टू हिम, मतलब क्या इफेक्ट उन पे डाल रहा होगा. तो सर, ये तो हुई हमारे रिंग्स की और जेमस्टोन्स की बात. अब हम थोड़ा-सा जानते हैं कि जो पंडित ये लोग जो पूजा करवाते हैं और जो हवन करते हैं किसी उपाय के लिए, तो इसका क्या रिलेवेंस है? क्या ये कुछ रेमेडी के तौर पे कुछ अच्छा करता है जातक के लिए?
सो ऑब्वियसली अपने शास्त्र में ये कहा गया है कि आप कोई भी हवन करते हैं, कोई भी अनुष्ठान करते हैं, तो उसको एक एलिजिबल ब्राह्मण से कराना चाहिए. द रीजन इज इट इज अ प्रोसेस एंड एवरीथिंग हैज टू बी डन इन अ वेरी परफेक्शनिस्ट मैनर. तो जब एज एन इंडिविजुअल आप कुछ करने बैठ जाते हैं, आपको पूरा ज्ञान नहीं है, तो आप वो करोगे तो सही, ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको नुकसान होगा, बट आपको उसका लाभ नहीं मिलेगा. So in South, if you see that people don't do their homas on their own. In North, we have a tradition that Panditji will ask us, okay, do ahuti, do this, because in North we think that okay, if we are doing something, then only we will get. In South, you will see the priest will only do the anushthan or the homa. That is the more authentic way to doing this. So when a priest who is eligible to do something, who is literate into doing this, when he does with perfection, obviously these all rhymes, hymns and yagnas are millions of years old. They give definitely impact. Second is whether you are doing or the priest is doing. If you don't have any shraddha into this, they will not get any better result. It's just like a puja, right? So it will basically clear the environment, you will feel good, the chanting looks good. That will not create any impact, any remedial impact on you. Because in Hindu culture, it is all about your bhav or your emotion. हम तो एक सुपारी पर कलावा बांधते हैं, उसको गणपति बना देते हैं, right? So it's all about the symbolism, like manas puja, and which emotion you are sitting in a puja. So when you are sitting in a puja with a right set of emotion, with a bhakti bhav, obviously it will give result. If you are sitting there as if you have paid the priest, and then it is priest life who has to improve, obviously his life will improve. He will get good money. so so I am very pro in the. I'm very. I like the anushthan. I like the homas, but the person who is there has to be into that mode, into that surrender mode towards divine. Then only he will get. Anushthan is not done in a proper manner. It will not fetch you the best results. It will not give you any bad result, but it will not fetch you the best result.
ओके. तो सर, आप एसेंशियली ये कह रहे हैं कि अगर अनुष्ठान कोई पंडित भी करे, तो जिसके लिए भी कर रहा है उसके अंदर एक अटूट विश्वास होना चाहिए, और उस विश्वास के साथ उसको अनुष्ठान में पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहिए अगर उसे कोई फायदा चाहिए तो. अदरवाइज, लाइक यू सेड, इट्स जस्ट एनी अदर पूजा, एनी अदर हवन.
Yes, because we have a procedure of sankalpa, right? So Pandit is doing it for the Yajman. Pandit is not doing it for himself. So we have a process of sankalpa. It is like an email address, right? So we are saying, okay, I am sitting in Bharat, I am sitting in Jambu Deepe, भारतवर्ष इंदौर शहर ना, मैं यहाँ पर मैं बैठा हूँ, मेरा ये नक्षत्र है, मेरा ये गोत्र है, मेरा ये नाम है, मेरा ये राशि है, और मैं इस भाव से बैठकर इस प्रभु जो भी डीटी का आप प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं, इस की प्रार्थना या इसका अनुष्ठान कर रहा हूं इन इन ऑब्जेक्टिव्स के लिए, राइट? दैट आई नीड बेटर करियर, आई नीड better health, I need better relationship. There are so many things which you can add. So then it becomes very scientific, that you are basically giving a message to the nature that I am doing this particular karma with this intent, and the priest is doing it for me because he knows how to do it. And then you have to be present. You can be online also, there's no problem, but you have to be in surrender mode. That's the only thing.
Okay, Babaji, what are the remedies that a native can do for, say, planets like Rahu or Ketu? Very broadly speaking, although the remedies depend on specific charts, very, very specifically, and every chart is very specific. But still, for our audience, broadly, if we want to tell them what remedies they can do for taking away the malefic aspects of Rahu and Ketu, what would you say?
Yeah, so not only for Rahu Ketu, like the most important remedy that we can do for any planet is to read the Srimad Bhagavatam every day, because the the nine planets that we have, they can be very easily correlated with the Dashavataras of Lord Vishnu. So every planet has a particular Vishnu avatar which kind of controls it, or you can say, which signifies it. So for Rahu, as we know, so Rahu, we know what Rahu signifies. Rahu signifies, like, greed, basically, right? And if you see, if you read the Vishnu Puran or the Srimad Bhagavat, then you will see Hiranyaksh is the demon, which who was so greedy that he wanted all the gold for himself. And when he took out all the gold from the earth went down into the Garbhoda ocean, and then Vishnu had to take a avatar called Varahadev, Vara avatar, which took the earth out of the Garbhoda ocean, and it brought it back to the space where it is now. So if we read the story of Samudra Manthan, of Varadev, and also of, because why Samudra Manthan? Because that's where Rahu Ketu originated from there. Because Rahu Ketu, the problem with Rahu Ketu is it always tells you will be happy of going by going outside of God. So because Rahu Ketu represents boundary. Anything which is outside of the boundary is like, we say that's Rahu or Ketu, because if Rahu Ketu is in the houses of marriage, you might get you might have an inter-caste marriage. So when you're having inter-caste marriage, inter-religion marriage, what are you doing? You are going out of the boundary, basically. So in general, at a philosophical level, if the person has issues with Rahu or Ketu, then they should read the Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially the Samudra Manthan Leela and the Leela of Varadev. And also the person has to elevate their consciousness spiritually, because Rahu Ketu are the two planets which are always retrograde. They are never direct. Now, why they are retrograde? Because they are bringing out the desires from your past lifetimes. So what happens is, today we have a desire. Oh, I want to get married. Then next, I want to have children. Oh, next, I want to have car. Oh, next, I want to have a house. Next, I want to become the CEO of my company. So what is happening is, as we are progressing our age, 20s, 30s, 40s, we think we are going forward, but what is happening is our desires are going backward, right? So from millionaire, maybe in some lifetime we wanted to become a multimillionaire. So when we become multimillionaire, we want to become a billionaire. So the best remedy for Rahu Ketu is to do spiritual practices daily, to chant mantras, and to realize that whatever we need for our sustenance should be earned in the rightful means, through the right processes without cheating anybody. So to lead a life like Dharmaraj Yudhishthir, that is the best remedy for Rahu Ketu, because then they cannot tempt you, and the moment Rahu cannot tempt you, you have won the battle. It's over for Rahu. You win.
Okay. So, Alok, sir, would you like to add something? Or Rahu and Ketu?
Yeah, so obviously there are two devatas which can be worshipped for Rahu specifically. One is Lord Vishnu, because he cut that demon and become so basically Lord Vishnu is the person who is always against asuras, right? Who is always fighting. If you see Lord Shiva, he since controls the entire universe, so he is equal with asuras and devatas, right? So he treats both of them equal, and he treats that both are required, but Vishnu is always against asuras, and he was the god who basically cut that demon, and they created Rahu Ketu. So Vishnu Sahasranam is very, very, very effective for Rahu Ketu, Rahu specifically. Second is Om Namo Narayana, I always suggest. Second is the other is Devi, specifically Durga. So Durga is again Durgati Nashini. And as Bhabyaji said, because of Rahu, we gets into Durgati. Why? Because it is putting a lot of desire in my head, because it is only head, and I'm running behind all these desires, which is leading to all the problem in my life. So Ma Durga. So on the spiritual level, these two devatas are can be worshipped to get rid of the anxiety created by Rahu, because Rahu is always in the head. So other than this, Rahu is outward, Ketu is inward, right? So for Rahu, if you go to temples, you do go for pilgrimage, and specifically are taking a dip in any sacred river, maybe Ganga, Saraswati, Narmada, that is told very effective for Rahu. Whereas for Ketu, you have to go inwards. So meditation is very important for Ketu. So Rahu, जो कि राहु है जो दिखता है लेकिन है नहीं, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड माया. केतु जो दिखता नहीं है लेकिन है, इसीलिए ये अज्ञात है. So for Ketu, you have to go inward. For Rahu, have to go outward. So then you go and donate. Very works very well for Rahu, because it is an outward activity. You go to temple, you go to pilgrimage. Very, very good. So these are on the religious or spiritual aspect. On the behavioral aspect, what Rahu does? Rahu is against Jupiter, and Jupiter is Akash Tattva. So wherever anybody who is running in a Rahu Dasha, you will see the Akash Tattva or the ether element in the home, in the body, everywhere around him will decrease. Right? His desk will be haywire, his room will be haywire, because the Rahu's job is to reduce Jupiter's element, the Akash Tattva in your life. So then you have to go in a space. So declutter the house, declutter the office, clean your desk, clean your body, right? Because Rahu impact is very simple. And today's environment or today's scenario, Rahu will start when you start keeping the dadi, keeping the beard, right? Because that's how he's basically reducing the ether element in you. So when you have that cleanliness and more space, that's why going to temple also works very well in Rahu, because in temples you have that very high roof, creating more space, and that's why you can get rid of these desires. Other than this, getting rid of internet is one of the best remedies nowadays for Rahu, because Rahu is internet, specifically in the night. If you avoid internet and surfing, searching, because Rahu is somebody who is always searching for new things. So then you meditate and sleep properly. Sleep early can also be a very good remedy for Rahu.
So, Alok sir, Bhabajeet, this has been an amazing session. We could have gone on and on, but because of paucity of time, we'll have to end it here. So, thank you so much for joining us on this platform. Alok sir, Bhabajeet, thank you so much. And we hope to see you again on a new podcast sometime in the future. Thank you.